In this video, I will teach you everything that I know about Seedance 2. So by the end of it, you know exactly how to prompt, you no longer waste any credits, and you learn how to create cool videos like this.
Where are the weapons?
There are no weapons. We know who you work for.
So, I think my new house is haunted, but I'm not sure. Hello? Yep, definitely haunted.
We'll be breaking down the different prompting techniques. I will show you what Seedance is good at and what the limitations are. But first things first, if you want to try out Seedance for yourself, I will leave the link to it in the description down below. On top of that, I will also drop in all the prompts that I'm using throughout this video in my school community. You can find them under the YouTube resources. Okay, so after you got access to Seedance, you go over there and you just want to go crazy. Don't do that yet. The first thing that you need to learn is learning how to prompt. You've probably seen prompts like this. This is what I call timeline prompting. It has a lot of detail to it. For example, this prompt is like 2 pages. You don't have to do every prompt like this, but I found a method that makes it easier for you to prompt like this. But first, let me break it down. The first half of the prompt is providing the tone, the structure, and all the context it needs. For example, we're talking about the subject. I'm describing what the subject looked like. Then I'm talking about the wardrobe. I'm describing what she is wearing. Then the environment, the mood, the music, color logic, style. Don't worry, I have a way that will help you come up with all of this. Then the next part is describing each shot. So if you combine this together, you have a scene. Now each of these shots have a timestamp. So it's kind of like described what's happening. You should see this as your shot list. It has all kind of like separate shots, but you combine them into one prompt. And then from one generation, which is like 15 seconds long, it will generate these 10 shots. It is quite a lot though. You don't need to do all 10 different shots if you don't need that in your scene. So how do you create this? Well, I've put together this MD file for you. You can use this inside of Claude or inside of ChatGPT, whatever you prefer. Simply what you do is you download this right here. Then you head over to Claude, then you just upload it. And now you have this document that will help you create your prompt. We can start by talking in normal language. I want you to create a 15-second scene with multiple shots about a woman robbing a mansion, disguised as a maid, inspired by the Catwoman scene in Dark Knight. Here are my reference images tagged image 1 and image 2. Now we're gonna drop in these images. I will show you how to make images like this. Like this is easy. I'll show you how to make that later. But for now, this is our prompt. We then hit send and now it will start using this MD file to craft or prompt. So now it gave you this prompt and I strongly recommend that you go through this. See if you like the scenes that it created. See if you agree with the style, the color, like all of these things in there. If you don't, go in there, tweak it, adjust it. Don't trust AI blindly. Use it as a tool to further enhance your skills. In case you do like it, let me go back to this previous prompt that I did. Then you simply copy this. Then you go over to Higgsfield again and then you drop it in right here. So now you want to add in your characters again. So I have my main character, then I also have this character sheet. And then once that is verified, then you can start generating. Make sure that if your prompt is 15 seconds long, that you make sure that the length right here is also 15 seconds. You can also adjust the aspect ratio if you'd like. Here is where I would recommend you to save a few credits. It's quite expensive Seedance in 1080p. Although I do recommend it, like sometimes 720p is worth it. You can upscale it later, might save you a few credits. But 1080p, you will burn through credits fast. Especially if you're not sure about a prompt, I would maybe even do 480p just to save some credits. But yeah, if you're pretty sure about your prompt, just do 1080p, hit generate.
This one's for Mr. Sterling.
Give me a ride home?
We're gonna watch it shot by shot because then I can explain what's happening here. So we're starting off with a bustling mansion kitchen, warm amber lights, staff rushing around, prepping plates for the party upstairs. The head chef is handing her a polished silver serving tray and a domed cloche on a tray. This one is for Mr. Sterling. She nods politely, eyes down. There we go.
This one's for Mr. Sterling.
That was the shot. Then the next second, we have slow tracking. She ascends on the grand carpeted staircase with the tray held perfectly level, back straight, every step measured. Then we have party guests that are like downstairs standing around, and we have some warm light. So let's check it out. That back was straight. Then we go for the next shot. We have a over-the-shoulder shot, portrait-lined hallway. That's the guy right there. We have a uniformed security guard guarding the door. He's right there, glances up at her. She gives him a nod, and then he nods back and lets her pass. That was another shot. Next up, we have a slow push in while she opens the heavy, sturdy door, and she still has the tray in her hand, and an older man is being revealed in a dressing gown. He is asleep on a leather chair, and he has a glass of whiskey beside him. She pauses, reads the room, then steps inside and silently eases the door shut. Now that shot is really quick, like we couldn't really see her pausing or reading the room, I would say. But then she sets down the tray on the sideboard without a sound. She's glancing at the sleeping man and silently toward the oil painting on the opposite of the wall. One quick look at the man and she's like, that guy is already sound asleep. Let me just get into the vault. Then we go over the slow push in with the painting on the side. We don't really get to see that here, but we have her red nailed fingers to spin the dial. 3 quick turns and a careful stop. Between each turn, her eyes flick back over the shoulder to the sleeping man, tracking every slight shift and snore. The safe clicks open. Inside a small red velvet jewelry box. She lifts it. Another glance at the sleeping man cracks it open. A diamond necklace glints in the amber light and a slow, satisfied smirk. Now the problem there is we have so much details to describe. Like this might be one of the issues with this prompt. You might have to ask it to describe less details because all of those details would have been great. But in 15 seconds and even this part being like 3 seconds, we couldn't really do all of that. So still this is very good because we can see her dialing the thing. Then you see her looking over her shoulder. She doesn't even look at the thing in the vault. She grabs it, opens it, takes a look at it. She likes it. She likes the diamonds. They all do. She walks out past the same security guard, going downstairs. We kind of skipped a bit of going downstairs. Like, Seedance understands, like, we can skip that bit. That's too much details. And then we have her outside at night, dark gravel driveway. And then she pulls in a white Peter Pan collar. And then she changes her outfit. And she goes back to an older gentleman. And she asks him to get a ride home. My guys, like, how many drinks did I have to deserve this? This is how a detailed timeline prompt can help you to write better prompts. You might want to go easy on some of the details, like Claude just finds ways to put words in your mouth. The best thing you could do here is just go over the prompt, delete a few things that you think are unnecessary, or let Seedance do the rest. Like here, it worked pretty good. Like the result is pretty good. Here's another example. So this is the reference image that I used, and for this one, I have this kind of like magic reveal. So this one had less shots, but still was a lot of fun. Of course, if we were to zoom in a little bit, it still has some flaws, which I will point out in a second. But for this prompt, I specifically gave it a few rules. So for example, I added in the rules that the selected cards must always be an ace of hearts, and the woman in the red dress is the one who places the card back into the deck. You can guess it. The reason why I came up with this rule is because after generating this like 2 times, it started doing it wrong. So then I decided to put in this rule. I also gave the negative prompt, which is also a useful thing. And the way this whole thing is designed is it can easily follow and understand your prompt. Now that we've seen the shot, let's also roast it a little bit. So here at the first beginning scene, we have 2 aces of hearts. Fortunately, I couldn't do anything about that one. Okay, so here he put it into the deck. If we were to zoom out, it's okay, it's not great. Like Animation Studio would have done this better. And this feels a bit like those VO 3.0 or VO JSON prompts generations. I feel like if you really were to care that much about the details, you can notice everything if you analyze it like I just did. But still, I would say this is very impressive. So now that you understand how to use the timeline prompting method, let me demonstrate to you what Seedance is good at and what its limitations are. The thing that I love about Seedance is how good it is at using your references or your ingredients, whatever you want to call them. Like for example, right here, I have 3 different character sheets. I have 3 different objects or items. I have a Chinese menu card, then I have a fortune cookie, and I have a meal. I labeled each and every one in my Claude project, and then I asked it to make me a prompt with that. So for example, here I tag the subject, image 1, young man. Then I have secondary subject, image 2. Then I have the third subject, which is this woman. And then I also talk about the different items that are being displayed. So in my prompt, I've laid out every single reference, and then I generated it, and it got me this result.
Kung Pao.
So, have you decided?
Yeah, I'll take the Kung Pao. Ask her out.
Enjoy, guys!
A few things that we gotta point out though, because we gotta be critical here, is if we take a look at the menu here, unfortunately, even with using tools like GPT Image 2, where you have great text on the images, text in video is still hard to read. Like for example, even on this side, I think it's even in reverse, which is kind of strange.
Kung Pao.
So, have you decided?
Yeah, I'll take the Kung Pao. Ask her out.
In terms of the characters though, like I would say in all the different shots, it's very on point. All 3 characters kind of look the same and identical in each different shot. Here we have me looking the same. We have this guy looking the same as he did in the previous shot. And the girl is also looking the same. Besides that, the food though. The only side note I have here is the fortune cookie. Rest in peace, the fortune cookie. Where did it go? But yeah, this generation, generally speaking, was my first try. If you see all of those crazy videos online, I just want you to know that people might have generated that same video a lot of different times until they get the perfect result. They might even have like used different parts. I've used this technique over and over again. Even in one of my last videos, I disclosed this technique. You basically generate it a bunch of different times, then you pick the best shots, combine them into a new scene, and then you have a seamlessly perfect scene. To show you what I mean by that is I generated this one more time and then I got this.
Kung Pao?
So, have you decided?
Yeah, I'll take the Kung Pao. Ask her out.
So this shot, for example, just didn't work. Like, why is he sitting next to me? That didn't make sense. The whole story here didn't make sense. So yeah, that's just to show you, not every generation is perfect. You will run into some issues, even while this is one of the best models yet. The second thing which Seedance is amazing at is fight scenes. Let me just give you an example.
Where are they? The weapons.
Now, even all the sound effects sounds pretty cool. And you can even generate this with a reference image, for example, this one, and a simple prompt like this one. Generate me a tense confrontation with tagging image 1 there and an evil boss asking where are the weapons, and a cinematic fight scene breaks out. Now, Seedance will do the rest for you. I've even done this without prompting, and you might get weird results, but if it understands the scene and what you're trying to achieve with your image, then it might also give you good results. Okay, let's go advanced again. Here we're using timeline prompting.
Where are the weapons?
There are no weapons. We know who you work for.
Where are the weapons?
So yeah, now you can be your very own John Wick while just typing away behind your PC. You can also do continuous fighting takes through Seedance.
That's enough.
Now, another tip that I want to give you here is don't generate too many characters at once in one of your prompts. That can either be with reference images where you add in like an insane amount of different characters in your reference image, or through your prompting. For example, in this prompt right here, I already have me as the main character. Then I have the boss, then I have henchman 1, henchman 2, henchman 3. A bit too many. I'm noticing that after 3 characters, it might get a bit glitchy.
Where are the weapons?
There are no weapons. We know who you work for.
Where are the weapons? That's enough. are the weapons?
Like, I don't know what happened to the table, but it doesn't look good.
That's enough.
Like, why do they turn around? They're like, yo, dude, let me just go back to beating this guy up. You can see that because we have so many different characters, it messes up. Also, what happened here? Why is this guy randomly falling there? So yeah, I still have some failed generations too. Another thing it's very good at is prompt adherence. Here I tried pushing the limits of it. I love that little nod. Like, let me nod back to the audience. Jokes aside, I don't know, like, I would probably break the camera if I were to do this. And like, I don't know why I'm being so relaxed, but this angle is so strange here. The way I made this is as followed. So what I did is I had a 15-second video with 14 shots in it. Basically a solo traveler vlog. And since I'm not going outside of the house, I had to have AI do it for me. So I have my subject described. I had the wardrobe, and we go from oversized tee to gray sweatpants to a travel wardrobe that is rotating, depends on where I am. Then I have my black DJI Osmo Pocket 4 that is with a flip screen, and it's turning on and it's showcasing me. Then I explain what the perspective is. I have the environments and I have it in order. It even tagged it for me to explain better to the AI where we are. And then mood, music, color logic, style, all of those details added in there from the Claude MD prompt. And then each scene explained. And all of that is made using two references. Just one of me and also one of the DJI Osmo camera. Now let's talk emotions, because Seedance is very good at predicting what kind of emotion needs to come in each shot. For example, let's take a look at this.
You're cooked, bro.
Are you kidding me?
Dan, relax, man.
Yeah, so the only thing that was real in this video was my chest rating. But jokes aside, this image was made using GPT Image 2 because it's great at following up the text. The limitation of Seedance here is applying more text as this live stream goes on. But if we take a look at the emotion of me, we can see I'm really going through it. Like, once I realize I'm losing, I'm rage quitting, I'm thinking all of my life decisions over. It even has the same chair as me. That's crazy. I can't wait though until we have a model good enough to also generate moving text, because then it might even get too real. Let me show you some more examples, and again, I will leave all the prompts to all the examples that are shown in the YouTube resources in my free school community. If you cannot find it, check out my profile. You can see all of my posts. It's usually in one of these posts, or it is in the YouTube resources.
Get away, devil! Be gone! In the name of the Lord!
I'm worse than the devil, boy. You'll see.
You can't get to me.
For now. But I wonder, how long will your spell hold?
So here we see desperation, anxiety, anger, fear, all of that in one video. I tried doing a haunted house one as well, and this one I just love my reaction here.
So, I think my new house is haunted, but I'm not sure. Hello? Yep, definitely haunted.
I just didn't give a fuck. There's one more prompt that I want to share with you here, and that's for this roller coaster video. Let's watch it first, and then I will break it down.
All right, here we go.
The thing I applied here is the logic rule. Like, that's a thing that you can add in your prompts. Like, you want it to follow some sort of logic, like it needs to make sense. I just wanted to have it as one continuous shot because I'm holding the camera, I'm vlogging me. So it needs to understand that it's like one continuous take. Not that it has multiple different camera angles, because Seedance loves to do that. If you don't give it those instructions, then it will just come up with any type of camera angle that you want. And that's also why we only have one shot here, which is 0 to 10 seconds long. Now let's talk consistency, because Seedance is great at it if you give it the right reference. I've already explained to you the character sheet before, but let me quickly point out one update benefits to this. I would love to add in there that if you're using GPT Image 2, you might even get better results now. Because here, for example, I used this beautiful image of me that I just took. I put it inside of GPT 2 and we got this. Now this looks quite like me, besides this one right here, like this, I look cooked there. Side angle though, that's important. Like, because you're only adding one reference, it only knows the front of your face. Like, it doesn't know that the back of my hair is a bit longer than it is in that image. It assumes just because of the sides that it is short. If we compare this GPT, like I like this one maybe even more. This one is also by GPT Image 2. If we compare this to Nano Banana, so I generate this again inside of Nano Banana, and here we have Nano Banana Pro. Not sure if I'd like this one more. I think I like GPT Image 2 a bit more. The thing that I dislike about Nano Banana is how vague these are getting. So the zoomed out versions are not that great. In the end, I like this one the most from GPT Image 2. Like, this one looks like what I'm actually... Yeah, that looks like what I'm wearing right now. And I just added in one image. Now, if you don't add detailed images of your face, of your body, then the AI will try to come up with the details. For example, here I have an example of a bad image being used. So the reason why this is bad is I'm standing way too far away. You don't really see my face well, and the AI has to fill in all of the details, like all of the, let's say, moles, all of the little skin texture. It doesn't have that. So for example, if we put this into Seedance, then we get something like this. Does not look like me that much. Like, it does have some reference there, but for this scene it works. But again, like, it doesn't quite look as me as if we were to use an actual good image of me. So just to sum it up, an image like this, even maybe an image of the side of your head, putting that into the GPT, or even an image like this one, are good reference images that you can then turn into your character sheet. Character sheet will do the rest of the work for you. Also, if you want to change the outfit of your character, you can simply add that in at the end of your prompt right here. So I have the full prompt right here, and I just say, but change his outfit to old-fashioned priest outfit. I know all of you wanted to see this, but this is what I look like if I was an old-fashioned priest. But yeah, the last thing that I want to show you is Seedance is great at realism. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Is my mic working? It is? Okay, great. Did you notice anything from that video? If I were to tell you that everything right there was generated with AI, the only thing we did have is a real reference image of me. So I just took a screenshot from one of my videos. Then I dubbed my voice using the voice cloner. And then I simply prompted it. So 7-second video, one shot, podcast mic, check, one take, describe the subject, describe the wardrobe, environment, all of that. And then the shot is, okay, testing 1, 2, 3. He looks off frame slightly, which is a thing I often do. Then, is my mic working? Okay, pause. Okay, great. I showed this to one of my friends and he genuinely thought it was a real shot of me. Now, even the voice was made with a voice clone of me. Let's do another one, a bit more obvious this time.
Hey guys, so I don't vlog much, so apologies if I sound a little awkward, but I just want to say that I appreciate all of you watching my videos. It's because of you that I wake up every day and do what I love. So, thank you.
Yeah, so that video was obviously a bit more AI. Reason why it was more AI is because here I just used a character sheet. I've noticed that this works best if you have like real selfies or real images of yourself. But in this case, I wanted to showcase like if you have an imaginary character or whatever you want to use. In this case, I'm an imaginary character. But I used my character sheet right here. And then I used a 11 Labs voice clone of me. That's why my voice sounds a bit strange. But yeah, just to say, it sounds really good. Background though is not that great. Like I will admit the text here is not good. Also, if you're doing this for yourself, I would recommend recording this segment with your real voice, not with the AI voice. Then you will get the best results. You can also try this with music. For example, I generated a Suno song and then I have myself sing in it. Important thing to notice here, if your vocals are like pausing for a bit, sometimes the lip sync might still happen to the beat or something else. Under the microscope, you should be more. I've already noticed this in my AI music breakdown with Seedance. If you want to get the full breakdown of that, then watch that video so you better understand how to fix this. The last example I want to show you is that you can get pretty creative with this. So I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw someone wearing those Meta glasses and they can record everything, you know, and all I did is I went over to Claude, I just typed in like, I want to buy a Rolex while I'm wearing those Meta glasses. I go in there and let's see what happens. It spit out this huge ass prompt for me and then we got this.
Excuse me, do you guys have Rolexes in stock?
Are you wearing those recording glasses?
Yeah, I'm recording. Oh, okay, well have a nice day then.
If you want to try out Seedance 2.0 for yourself, then click the link that's in the description down below. Hicksfield usually has some pretty good promotions going on, so if it is on sale, I would definitely start using it. And besides that, I've laid out all of my prompts in the school community. Now click the video on the screen if you want to learn how to make an AI music video with Seedance.